look at the. All right. So also for this one, you don't necessarily have to have different colors for the arrows and numbers. You can do it the way you want, but if you want it all the same color, it's fine. But you will be using fronts, backs, exteriors, and interiors because most of you have pocket bags, and that shows up on the interior. Okay, so the first thing is the waistline seam placement. And that you're going to have to put the pants on and measure it. So it's like, are they high-waisted, above the waist, below the waist? Just measure it on yourself, like how much it drops. And if it's too hard to measure the back, just kind of imagine or use the same measure as the front. That's okay. I mean, it's easy to measure the front, a little harder to measure the back, or get a friend to measure. I'm not gonna have the numbers as long as it makes sense. Okay, the next one is the circumference. And this one, there are two things here. If you have jeans or trousers that are don't have elastic, just measure the waist. And instead of the gray here, you're going to make it white. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing. Okay, so on the waist seam, maybe I should, sorry, I think I should share this. Back to this. All right, so on the circumference, um, if you have pants that are rigid, then put the measures in here. So the color is not yellow. The color would be white. If you have elastic waist, relaxed is not just holding it, and then stretched, pull on it. So that's easier to do on a table, and you use don't use tape measure, use a ruler that you've laid on the table, like your metal L, and then measure it against that. So that's what the extended thing is. It's not for rigid pants, it's not like the waistband opened up in the whole entire measurement. So if you have rigid pants, you're only going to have a 2, and it's going to be all the way around. The height, so jeans, it's obvious. Something like this one is a fold over, so I would do the height on the inside. It's not seamed on the outside, it's just stitched. It's double needled. High hip, it tells you what to measure it from, and that's front and back. Low hip. The rise, you're going to include the waistband. Look, I have a tape measure as a prop here. So you're going to include the waistband. Great, my hand is in the way. This is a really good demo, isn't it? So for these, all the way to the top of the pant. And that's front and back. Inseam, outseam, that's pretty obvious. That the outseam does not include the waistband. So but if your outseam, like on these, it goes all the way to the top because that seam on these pants, on these lounge pants, it goes all the way up. thigh circumference, knee circumference, ankle or hem. And then on the fly, if you have one, do the interior and measure the interior stuff for the fly. And basically it's the width of it and the height of it. Okay, now on the pockets, if you have two pockets that are the same, you can just use pocket A and you can say like if you have front pockets and back pockets, instead of pocket A, you could say pockets front. And then just put the arrows on one of if the pockets match, you don't have to like duplicate all that information. Just put it down. And I put all possible things there. So if they're in the front, you're going to take off the center back thing. And conversely, if you have back pockets, you won't have the center front measure because the pockets are on the back. So pay attention. If you don't need the information, you take it off and then you adjust the letters accordingly. So you can read when you have your form, you can read through on all the different things. So I tried to, for measuring all the possible situations, if your pocket is set into the side seam, basically you're going to measure how far it is from either the waistband or the top of the pant and how much of an opening there is. And that's pretty much it for a set into the side pocket. On jeans, it would be distance from the out seam, distance at the out seam, what the height is. If you have a change pocket, you'll probably measure. You also measure from center front on these front pockets. Same sort of thing on the change pocket. So that would be an additional, and now it's only on one side. So you could call that change pocket. It's on the right side. You're wearing it. Back pockets. These lounge pants don't have any, but the jeans do. So again, from center back, from the side seam, I would measure it from the waistband and not the yoke. And then you're going to measure the height if it's a pointy pocket, measure that. You could be like super technical and measure the sides and measure the width here. I mean, if you want to get more specific on things, have at it. You would, if you were sending this, I mean, now we can't send things to China because it'll be too expensive with the tariffs. But if you were sending it to China at a factory, the more specific you are with your measures, the happier you will be with what you get back. That's why you do all this. Okay, so I put all the same things here on the pockets because I was being lazy. Pocket bags usually are in interiors. They would be on the front in the jeans. And I'm not going to turn the jeans inside out, but I've got these. Yeah, since these are men's pants, they're generous pockets. So you've got, we could go back to the little picture here of the pocket bag. So I would do the tallest part of the pocket bag. Like this one is all curvy, and then the widest at the bottom. You can also measure the top. I think I did. I think I took that off. So I just said width and height. You can do what you will with that. If you have a pleat or pleats, usually the pleats are symmetrical. So unless it's some designy thing, and I don't think anyone has that. If you have pleats, you measure distance from center front and how much the pleat folds over. Belt loops. So there are all these different measures. Just use the appropriate belt loop on, it's mostly on the jeans. So some are from the front, some are from the back. It's all kind of wrapped up together for the belt loop. And the width of the belt loop is crosswise on this. This is the width and this is the length. Okay. If you have a dart, again, it might be on the front, it might be on the back. If you have darts in both, you might do both. The length is how long the dart is. The depth is how much it curves around. And if I saw one today that it was hidden by the pocket bag, so then kind of feel around and estimate. I mean, usually they're about half an inch, but and it wouldn't be the total depth. It's like the half with the folded up dart. I know one of you have an exotic dart at the knee, so you can still use this, but it would be distance maybe from the crotch for your dart instead of center front, center back. The hem depth is on the inside, how much the turn up is on your hem. I can't remember if any of you have cuffs. Maybe one of you does. And so that would be the height and the length, but if it's a hem on the inside, that is not a cuff, that's the hem. If you have a cuff, you might not have a hem. It might all just be wrapped up in the cuff. And then the yoke. So it's, and I think anyone that has a yoke, I don't think anyone has front yokes. So you're going to measure waistline seam to yoke at center back. So that's this. You might want to do the side seam measure. I didn't put that one in. Side seam to yoke. Oh yeah, I did at side seam. If you want to put the length, this would be the length going across. So if you want to put that, you can. And then the closure. This one, the lounge pants are a draw cord. And I got really geeky on this one, and I think I didn't, you know what, I didn't show arrows, but I did it down here. Or maybe I did. I don't know, it's 14 on the thing I did. So that was buttonhole placement for the draw cord. I lost my Excel. This was very vague. So if you have a snap, say snap, don't say button. If you just have some trousers, it's just a hook and eye or a hook. not really an eye. What is, you know. So that would be on the inside where the hook is sewn on. So that's, I didn't put all your options, but that's what would go there. And you, for the placement, you could measure, you measure to the center of the button, and you can do it from the top of the waistband and then from the edge of the waistband. So, oops. That would be unbuttoned, and then this and this. Similar to what you did on the jacket, but most of you only have one button that you have to measure. One of you has two buttons, but okay. So I'll stop the share. And are there any questions about that stuff? The measurements. And if you hit a roadblock and you're confused about anything, just email me. You know, you can send me a little picture if you want. I'll pull up your flat. We could work through it one-on-one if you need to. All right. So I guess we'll go into the one-on-ones on your interiors. And let me end the taping. Oh, wait a minute. Sorry, not that.